Conspiracies podcast.
He did. He did. I forget what he was trying to do originally.
Imagine just being in your lab and be like, okay, I'm just gonna take 25 milligrams of this, put it in my mouth, see what happens. You start tripping.
He didn't put it in his mouth originally.
Take a bike ride home, and then it becomes the most legendary bike ride in history.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's
That's
crazy.
insane. That's insane. I would not have had a good time with that. No way.
It'd be hard to bike.
He had to ride his bike because of the war. You weren't allowed to drive your car.
I know. It's crazy. Crazy.
More people need to ride bikes, man.
Yeah, bikes are great, man. Okay.
Except on the road. I think we need less bikes on like the main road.
They need more bike paths everywhere. Especially in like places where it's dangerous. I mean, most places have it though. Like in New York City, you see so many people biking on the street. People be getting killed all the time for that shit.
Oh yeah, dude, it's road's not built to be
People riding
shared.
a bike think they're on a car, so they like.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, turn into 4 lanes of traffic. See him go by on the
They're,
highway.
like, traffic, and someone crosses them over. Like, fuck you! Like,
Exactly. Dude, it's the same thing with a smart car, man. You're very vulnerable. If you're tiny, nothing's gonna protect you in there.
a small car is better than like a motorcycle. Still pretty fun. I mean, I think like I want to go to the mountains and do that, or like you cruise on the beach. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, totally, with like a bike, like a
Or just do
scooter.
the mountains. Big Harley.
Yeah, oh
Good
yeah.
vibe.
And those BMXs, mountain bikes. Dude,
Those are crazy. Those are a lot more dangerous. Harleys are much safer because they're big and they're bulky, and like you're not driving down like dirt roads with that shit. You go on. I mean, generally speaking, you don't.
it's also like the people who
But like
ride
dirt
them, right?
bikes flip over unless you're like a professional. Even professionals get killed from that.
Depends who's riding them, man. You can get some really rednecky people on some really dangerous pieces of hardware. It's a disaster waiting to happen, man. You know.
See them on the highway like drag racing, like those gangs.
Yeah.
Like I always wonder, like where these people live. Like
I know.
one day I actually talked to one time. Like
Those
most of them
dudes?
are nice people. People think like these kind of people are like crazy. I mean, they're definitely crazy. There's no question in
Yeah.
that. Who
Gotta
isn't?
be.
But like they're just normal people that like to get drunk and ride motorcycles. Like
Some of the people in motorcycle gangs are like doctors and lawyers.
yeah, I know a guy
Yeah.
was some of my dad's friends are like they're not really like on a motorcycle gang, but like they're kind of like post life like that. Like when they were younger, they were part of motorcycle gangs, but they still ride at like 60 in their 60s. It's the
Mhm.
funniest. I mean,
Yeah,
other like he did injure himself though. That was pretty scary. Like that was great. That was bad. Well, if you're in your
his-
60s,
the history of that is really interesting.
but they're Jewish, so it's like they're just like Jewish dudes that like
Bunch of
old
old
Jewish guys.
Jewish
One of them has like a
dudes on
big
the road,
beard.
right?
They like to bike and whatnot.
Everybody needs their outlet, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly.
the
Gotta
history
have
of
some hobbies, man.
motorcycle
It's a
gangs is
fun
really
hobby.
interesting because it was like there's a bunch of dudes that got back from World War II, but they weren't part of the whole like American dream where they would come back to their sweetheart and start a nice family and go to this cookie cutter future in the suburbs. Like they were outcasts and people who didn't really belong. And they used to be pretty crazy. I mean, they're still pretty crazy. You can find some really
Which
crazy motorcycle gangs.
yeah.
They used to be like cowboys on the highway. Just go around beating the shit out of people.
Beating the shit out of people? What the fuck?
Yeah, oh yeah.
With what? With like whips?
I don't know, whips, bottles, whatever they do.
God dang.
Whatever they do. Yeah, really tied into like the drug trade and prison gangs too. It's intense, man. These people don't fuck around.
I don't think
No.
most people know what bicycle day is. I think we should explain it.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Go
No
ahead.
one knows what that is. Very few people. How many people, if you wish them happy bicycle, they would be able to fuck his bicycle, little bicycle, what? Going riding
They
fast. Has
like
nothing, has
riding bicycle.
nothing, has very little to do with bicycle. The bicycle part is not the significant part of it.
Yeah,
Bicycle day was basically when, what's his name, Hoffman, Dr.
Albert Hoffman. Yeah,
Albert Hoffman discovered LSD. The fuse
but
first
it was
by accident, first man to trip ever on LSD.
yeah. So he did discover it. So he found it and he tripped on it by accident
Yeah,
initially. But Bicycle Day was when afterwards he tried it again on
yeah,
purpose to study its effects more,
see what it was.
and it kicked in as he was riding his bike home,
Mhm.
and then it became known as Bicycle Day afterwards.
But he didn't know it was gonna be a hallucination drug, did he? Pretty sure he did.
No, when he was experimenting on it for whatever pharmaceutical company he was working for, I don't remember what it was originally for, but it was from ergot, which comes from like rotten bread, which historically in the past, like in medieval times, people used to eat like moldy rotten bread,
Uh,
and they would trip, not on purpose, not for fun. It was just what would
they
happen.
they would use it as a medicine. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, well, LSD is basically just mold.
Medicine.
It's a mold, more or less.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's
I
exactly
mean,
what it is.
that's what most psychedelics are. Like shrooms are also a mold.
A fungus. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
grows out of
crazy.
kelp. Yeah,
Why do funguses make us trip?
I know. I know, but mushrooms are like a whole different story.
Oh yeah, definitely they're very
Oh,
different.
that's psychedelic. Crazy. They're like a whole different animal. They're a whole different species.
I want to read this book, Mystic Chemist: The Life of Albert Hoffman and His Discovery of LSD.
Mysticism?
What? Mystic Chemist. He was
Oh,
a very mystical person, especially after discovering LSD.
changed a lot of people's lives. Changed his life. Crazy.
I was
Can you
watching
imagine?
this documentary about him. Very interesting story.
Yeah.
Interesting person. He was pissed off. Like people fucked it up, with all the 60s, all those people abusing it and shit.
He had a very pure experience. It was detached from, the counterculture
He
and the
was
hippies and all that.
he was trying to make a medicine for people, and then people, obviously abuse it, and then it had to become illegal when it should be a medicine for people. That's why he created it. That's why I believed in it.
Oh, you know, it's commercialization, man. We've talked about that on the podcast before about,
Yeah.
how you can have something pure and then once it's available to everybody, it just kind of gets
Yeah. I feel like humans as a
reduced.
race tend to be irresponsible with so many things.
Pretty much everything, man. If you can
With
think
the
about, you
climate.
can take any concept like agriculture, farming,
Yeah, well, nowadays it's hard. I mean, like we gotta feed billions of people in one country all
right?
the time. Like everyone's gotta eat.
People,
Most no one
but
has
people don't.
homes.
That's true, but people don't realize the effects that it has on the environment and animals. It's crazy, devastating. You don't think about it because it's so not natural
But
to have.
what people need to realize, especially people that are vegan, is that people think that eating plants is helping the environment. It's not true. Like not the way we make plants. The only way you could save the environment is by having your own garden in your yard. But the way we produce plants destroys the environment.
True. Yeah, it's
Plus, none of our food is real. It's all made from hormones and whatnot and genetically
GMOs.
blah blah blah. Everything is GMO.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no such
I
thing as
mean,
non-GMO food. Even if they say
yeah.
there's still some lace of GMO, without a doubt.
And listen, changing food in those ways, however unpure it's made the food, it still helped feed millions of people all around the world, helped grow food in places where it wouldn't grow before. But,
Also, the
give and
food
take,
the food
it's sacrifices.
doesn't taste as good. Especially in America, the food the vegetables generally don't taste as good. They have less taste because they're just so genetically modified, and I don't even know. the whole scientific reasoning, but it's just a general fact.
Oh yeah.
We don't even know what real fruit like. I think fruit tastes good, I don't know. But like we generally don't know if real good, amazing fruit tastes like unless you go to like some home farm that someone has in their backyard, some shit.
Everything's diluted, man. That's what happens.
Yeah,
What happens. Rough. Well, that's the world we live in, dude.
but we living
It's
in
whatever.
crazy,
You can't do
crazy.
anything to change it. I mean, you could grow your own fruit if you really want to.
Good, but who the hell is gonna do that?
It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
Gardening.
it's like you're gonna grow every single plant that you want from like if you want fruit and vegetables and all that, like you need a whole entire you need acres of land to
Oh,
produce enough vegetables and fruits for yourself.
you know how much money this guy did an experiment like I don't know how long ago it was, but he wanted to see how much it would cost to make like a Big Mac, but making all the ingredients himself. So he literally grew the wheat, he bought the cow, he slaughtered the cow, he grew the lettuce, he grew like every single part of it, and it came up to like something like I don't know. It was really expensive. I think it was over $1,000 or thousands of dollars. It's crazy.
Did he also add in the fact that most McDonald's aren't pure beef?
I think so. I don't think. I think he actually slaughtered the cow. I don't think he,
It was probably much
pushed
better
it
than what
into some kind of
McDonald's.
shredding
Like
machine.
McDonald's doesn't taste good. It tastes like shit.
Yeah.
Their motto isn't to like if you look at their business model, their motto is not to provide good tasting food. It's about convenience and quickness, basically. It,
Did you ever see that movie about it? Movie
um,
about the dude that made McDonald's?
I think I don't think so actually, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. No, it's all these places, man. They just fill you up with garbage.
It's
People
cheap,
eat it right up. People don't mind.
so bad for you. It makes your body like go like shit.
Like
That's why Americans can't. That's why people can't stay healthy.
I don't know. I can't stand that stuff.
Yeah, it's like destroys your body.
Mm.
That like if you ever eaten fast, have you ever eaten fast food?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not used to it, it totally wrecks
Yeah.
you.
Even if you are, even if you had it, like you literally
Greasy, just
go to the bathroom, just like
yeah, dude. No way.
it's worse than like shroom shit sometimes.
It tastes worse too.
I don't know about
Tastes
that.
worse too. I think so.
Definitely, the experience is not nearly as good.
No way. It's not rewarding.
Shrooms do not taste good though.
No way. Stay away from that. Keep it
Mm,
kosher, baby.
yeah, keep that shit kosher, man.
That's right. It's
What's your
beautiful.
mic?
It's right here.
You didn't stand it up?
Hello, hello. I kind of stood it up, but then it kind of fell down. So
Because you
it's
keep it
kind of
closer.
standing up right now.
You gotta keep it closer because the audio.
Oh,
You're supposed to have the audio like a foot.
hello.
You're supposed to be like max a foot away, especially for a podcast. The max like a foot away from the mic. Generally,
What does Joe Rogan say? Like a fist away?
I don't know what Joe Rogan said. This is just what I was watching on YouTube from like what do you audio experts.
Good. Dude, figuring out a podcast, it's easy, but it's also like,
Yeah, it's easy, but then there's like shit you don't realize that happens.
yeah,
Like
starting along the
like
way.
one small thing in the settings can fuck up all of your audio. Like you just clicked on the wrong thing in your settings, your audio. That's what happened in the last episode. One
Right.
wrong click messes up the entire thing. So why we need like every year, but we don't got enough money for that. So
Yeah. This little beginnings, baby steps, you know, day by day, week by
all
week. You
about
know what
baby
I mean?
steps, and then keep going in that direction. Keep the eye. You know?
Gotta keep it real, man.
Gotta keep chasing your dreams.
Can't stop, man. You gotta keep it 100, bro.
If you can have a vision, you can achieve it.
You know what I did? You know how hard I worked on this company?
It took me 20 years to become a billionaire.
I built this from the ground up.
It took Bezos like almost 30 years to become a billionaire. No, not 30, 20 years.
Did you ever see those old pictures of him from the
Not Bezos, I think
90s?
of something else. I think Warren Buffett. It took him a long time to become a
Did
billionaire.
you ever see those pictures of Bezos from when he was like a nerd? Selling
Yeah.
books out of his car? Oh my
Like
God.
big glasses. Now he's like this buff dude. Like, what the hell? Just transformed. Like when you become rich, so did Elon Musk. Like his hairline.
Elon Musk too. He used to have like, used to be
Like
like
if you
this
look at that
little,
famous picture of
little
him in front
nudnik.
of the computer where his eyes are just like bloodshot and like looks
Yeah,
high as hell because he's just been sitting in his computer like this, making PayPal basically on his computer, which is fucking
yeah,
crazy.
dude. That's not just a lesson in. I mean, that proves you can turn your life around no matter
Definitely
what.
like him.
Yeah, physically. I mean, forget taking that away from the whole billionaire aspect and
Let me
like
show
how much
you a picture.
confidence that
Like I
gives
have.
you.
Yeah, I mean, like most billionaires were broke at 20 in their 20s. You know, people
Send
don't
him.
realize. People think like, oh, Jeff Bezos is like some gifted motherfucker. Like that dude literally doesn't relax. He works. He's been working for literally 18 hours a day, like for the past 20 years.
What's his net worth right now?
I think it's like I don't know. It's like I think it's he's in the 150s. I think billion.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Kylie just passed 2 billion. I
Jeff
heard.
Bezos' net worth. Yeah. Jeff Bezos'
Kylie
net
Jenner.
worth.
She's a great businesswoman too, Kylie
One.
Jenner.
Yeah, it was close. $143.1 billion.
Wow, wow, wow.
Elon Musk got a whopping 36.9 billion. And he went there like there was one time where like okay, he was just a millionaire, and then a couple years later, he was just a billionaire. Like what happened?
How much did his wife get in the divorce?
Who Bezos? Forgot
Yeah,
what the number was. I think it was like 40 something million. It was I don't know. Uh, forgot. It was a while. It was a lot.
I
Did she
remember
did she
that was a
get
huge
billion?
deal.
I think
I
she
don't
got like
know.
300 million or something.
Check that out.
Jeff Bezos is divorced. I looked that up. That story was crazy.
I
Also,
remember
just
that.
can't
That
get
was
divorced.
a huge deal.
There, what? $38 billion.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Voss. So she's the richest woman in the world from a divorce.
That's crazy.
Think about that. Wow.
If you
I
know
mean,
anyone getting rich, I'd marry them and divorce them. Hey, rich.
listen, she was with him from the beginning, though.
Maybe. I'm pretty sure they're still like friends and whatnot. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, it was like amicable. It was mature. It was like a nice divorce. Those happen sometimes.
Hear all these conspiracy theories about Warren Buffett.
I not
Not
about
Warren
Warren
Buffett, about
Buffett.
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates for sure, not Warren Buffett.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I meant Bill
yeah.
Gates. Stuff
Those-
is crazy. People have such weird like. What's that dude's name I was telling you about before? The theory.
David Icke. Yeah,
Yeah.
David Icke. That man is a lunatic,
I mean,
but he's
some of
very
the
well
things
spoken.
he says like seem so like whoa, they could actually be true.
Yeah,
I
and
don't.
he's a
I think
well-spoken,
some of the things he
well-educated
says
character.
are true, but some of the things that he's not. Like he
Like
did
Jews and
predict.
wizards.
He predicted 9/11. Like it's crazy, but he claims COVID-19 doesn't exist because I mean, but his reasoning is there's no scientific evidence, which is. I mean, I don't know. Is there scientific? I don't know of any scientific evidence.
People are, dying by the thousands. I mean, this isn't. You
Yeah.
can't make
Like,
this up.
how does he explain that? I don't know.
Can't make this up. I mean, the whole billion people all working together. It's the same thing as like Holocaust conspiracy theorists.
He like really
Because
believes in everything. Like he truly believes like he thinks he's a prophet or something in the sense that there's a voice that talks to him. He's done ayahuasca.
Yeah, he's a crazy man, and I don't really believe in anything he says, but some of the stuff he says, it's crazy, makes you think,
Yeah.
but
He's
no
legit having
credence.
me question my entire reality.
Yeah,
No cap,
some
like,
some of it, and then he's like, COVID-19 is not real. All right, my dad works in the hospital. Right, he has to wear a face mask and
mm,
everything. He knows it's real.
yeah.
Right, you can't get all 7 billion people on the planet to just cooperate and make something up.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And wouldn't people like being tested positive for COVID-19? Isn't that scientific evidence? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Like, what does he want from scientific evidence?
Attention.
What kind of like?
Some attention.
Like? Does he want like a physics equation for it? Like,
Dude was probably checking his Google stats and he saw that his numbers were dropping. So he's like, okay, I need to come up
yeah.
with some more crazy shit. And this
There
is
was
what I'm
an
gonna
interview
say
that
that.
someone did with him, and YouTube and Vimeo and LinkedIn, they all deleted it.
I
He's a
mean,
humble. Happens to be like I watched some of his stuff. He's a humble dude. Like he lives in a small apartment, and he's like pretty wealthy.
a lot of these guys are like charismatic. Like he's like a sophisticated dude. He's got like a nice British accent. He's well spoken. Like when he starts speaking, like you kind of want to listen to what he has to say,
Yeah, I mean
right?
he seems like he has good intentions, but his intentions are just fucking crazy, man. Like
Right. Yeah. No, but he's a lot. I feel like he would be easier for people to believe than Alex Jones, even if the things he's saying are way crazier. Because Alex Jones is sitting there and he's screaming and he's
the way
shouting
I
and
look at Alex Jones is like he's just he's too obsessed with the fact that yeah, the government does try to control shit for sure. There's no denying that.
oh, totally.
But he's too obsessed with the fact. So he put his whole life towards that fact. And he just wants control. Like he's just I think he's very egotistical.
I think it broke him also.
Yeah,
It
maybe.
really messed with his head. And he admitted that, like he's had psychological problems and
Just because
you
a
can
lot of
tell
people have
it's
psychological problems, but there's a way to deal with it. There's a way not to deal with it.
his way is not the way. Screaming and getting his blood pressure up. His wife and kids left him,
Yeah,
he's had a rough break, but sometimes that's
he's got
make
a
your bed
lot
and
of
put a lie
fans.
in it,
Bro.
man. Yeah, yeah, I'm surprised at how
Crazy
many
how
people.
he's got banned from social media and YouTube. It's pretty
Yeah,
hard.
that's another thing.
It's
I don't.
completely like it's not like his channel got banned. His name as a person got banned. Like if he
Yeah,
makes another YouTube channel, even if it's clean, I'm pretty sure they'll delete it.
it's crazy how you can erase someone like that, just make him disappear.
Yeah. Hey, but he was like spreading crazy
He
shit.
was. He was saying that the Sandy Hook shooting didn't
Yeah.
happen, and that it
How,
was child actors. He went back on that, but
how do you even come up? People were dead. Like
yeah,
you saying the news hired a bunch of actors and fake dead people? Like what? You can't. That's no. People lost family from these things. Like
yeah, it's the same thing with the Holocaust, man. Like people try to say, "Oh, it was made up." You can't get
how the fuck was
the
that?
Russians. You can't get the Russians, thousands of American soldiers, all these people to just lie about this. You can't
So
just.
are
You
people gonna
can't.
start saying that World War II never happened? Like
Yeah, yeah. It's a
people
dangerous thing, man.
are
Misinformation is really
stupid.
dangerous.
Can be very dumb. Some people.
Real. It crosses the line, man. It's not just silly at a certain point. When you gain enough traction, it's like, okay, this guy kind of needs to be,
And there's
you
a
know.
line too. Okay, it's one thing to have your beliefs, but there's one thing to completely say that history hasn't existed. That's history is made up. It's history. It's real history. It
No,
happened.
no, there's proof. And there's things that can be proven and things that can't be proven. Like
There's
people
the
try to say the moon landing is
archaeological
fake.
evidence. It's like there's so much evidence on
Yeah,
paper. The Nazis were amazing at putting their evidence on paper. Amazing.
they were pretty well organized. Yeah.
That's why it wasn't hard to prosecute them because they just wrote everything down.
Yeah, terrible.
So
Yeah,
true.
but people still deny undeniable things, like the moon landing or that the Earth is flat.
Bro, I went on the moon. No. The last episode I was on the moon.
Everybody should take a trip to the moon
Yeah,
one time. One time.
I would like to go to the moon.
Oh, leave
Anyways,
the map. That's
gotta
beautiful.
stay safe.
I want to congratulate Chaim and his country. They're doing a little better now in Israel. They now instead of just 100 meters, they can go 500 meters.
Woo!
That's pretty good.
People
Yeah,
were taking people were taking advantage today. I could tell. There's a lot more
dude, I would be.
people on the street.
Are you
I
kidding me? I
took a
would
nice
go.
run today. Ran a couple miles. Yeah, it's nice. It's getting hot though and buggy like crazy. This summer is starting to hit over here hard.
It's good. Now we'll see. The scientists said that maybe when it gets a little warmer,
No, but
maybe
we already disproved that. And that's not gonna happen.
it's not gonna happen.
It's already no. We've already that this virus does not mind the summer at all. It's been in places that have summer.
Hot.
Yeah, we already know that the summer's not gonna get rid of it.
Ah. Oh well. All right, but it is getting better over there.
What do you think of the theories about how China created the coronavirus?
So I think that it was probably definitely made in the lab because that makes sense. I don't think they spread it on purpose. Um, but yeah, I do think it was made in the lab
Why would they
um,
make it in a lab? What's the point?
to study it. Study different viruses. There are places like that all over the world.
There's so many
That's something out of like a sci-fi movie where you make something in
a
a
lot of
lab and then
weird things that
it's
go
the
on in
lab.
the world that we're not aware of.
I do think that they didn't give out the proper information
People say
on
that they
purpose.
did spread it on purpose. People
I
say
don't believe
because there was like a gap of time where where the virus was around, but they were still letting people travel in and out of the country, and they didn't like say, "Oh, they weren't warning other countries."
no.
I was listening
I,
to different interviews on YouTube about that, but
I think they're just stupid, but I think they should be held accountable in the same way as if
I
they
don't know if I
did
would call
spread
them
it on
stupid.
purpose.
But
I think once this is all over, people are,
I'm definitely no smarter than these people.
yeah, yeah, but the blame is at their feet, man.
So I would never be a politician, man. Fuck that.
No,
It's too hard of a job. Also, it's like you have to make really hard decisions that matter for so much people, like lives. It's not like an income, and their whole livelihood depends on you.
no. There's a shit ton of corruption too. You're surrounded by bad people. You're surrounded by people that don't want to work with you, want to do the opposite of what you're trying to do, even if it's to help people.
Like I would never be a political leader. I would not mind working in maybe in politics. That's the furthest I would go. Would be like political journalism or something like that.
Yeah,
But
it's a
like,
big interest of mine. But you wouldn't want to be in government, you're saying?
nah,
No, no,
nah.
I wouldn't go for that. It's tough,
My ego's
really
not. My ego's big, but it's not that big.
tough. You do. You have to play yourself up a lot, like all the time. Like
Man.
I did this, and my opponent's horrible at this. Blah 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 blah. And I'm the one
Trump
that'll
had
get
a
it.
tough run with this whole coronavirus, though.
Oh, I
He-
think he's over with.
Man, I wouldn't be surprised if he still gets elected. Not at all.
He's still got a lot of loyal people out there that love him, but
Yeah. I mean,
I think
he was good at for the economy, but then the coronavirus just completely corrupted his all presidency. That's the way I look at it.
I don't think no, there's no
He
doubt,
almost
but
had
I don't
good
think
things going for him, and with the economy,
he did. It was the best economy we ever had.
and then all of a sudden, like,
Yeah.
down,
Well,
literally a
people
depression, basically. Almost.
people remember the horrible, horrible, terrible garbage fire, and not the nice,
Yeah.
not the nice thing that
People
happened
like to look
before it.
at negative for sure.
Yeah. Dude, if you got a flower pot and it's full of beautiful roses and it's in like this beautiful, expensive vase, and you push it over, you're not gonna focus on how nice the vase was. You're gonna focus on the mess on the floor.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. It's our
and that's
natural
why.
instinct. We don't always
Yeah,
like to look at the beauty of things.
yeah.
Mhm.
And listen, it's horrible. It's a horrible situation, and I don't think
Yeah.
he's gonna come out of it. I think we're gonna have Joe Biden as our president.
Yeah.
Yeah, President Biden.
Well, I can't say that Trump won't be elected because people are saying he might.
I don't know. I don't know. He didn't handle this well. He really didn't. A lot of people didn't, but you gotta have the foresight, and
Yeah.
you gotta listen to the information, and you gotta work when you do have a chance. And he didn't. He really dragged it out for a while.
He was very worried about the economy. That's really because his whole
Yeah.
focus in general, I think, especially since he's a capitalist and like his whole vision as a president in a lot of ways were focused on the economy. That's why he's been able to bring the economy up. He did a good
Yep.
job with that.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But the economy is, it's meant to help
Wow.
people. It's meant to help people, and if the people aren't safe and good, then what's the point?
Yeah.
If they're not secure, then
He didn't have a lot of, I mean, there wasn't so much he was able to, like, even if, like, let's say we started 2 weeks earlier. Let's say he did take action 2 weeks earlier. How better would the situation be?
I think a lot better.
Yeah.
I don't know about a million times better. I think we'd still have
Because we're at
probably
700. We're about what? We're about a quarter million cases. No, three
in
quarter million,
America.
3/4 of a million cases. I'm pretty sure in America.
Let me check the stats. Let's update.
Yep.
Yeah, in the U.S. has 761,040,000 deaths.
Yo, this
Now
was
it's
a weird bug.
yeah, but of course, China still was really late about it.
But if you
But
look at this graph,
no,
it looks like it's going down.
no. Now, if China had done what they needed to do, the entire world would be fine and life would be normal right now.
Should I show you this
But
graph? I could share the screen with you.
yeah, all right, go ahead.
See how this works. Yeah, look. Look, you see? It looks like it's like gone down, like it was up and down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's in Florida. I don't know why I show all.
So
It looks like it's going a little like this is daily, I think, or weekly.
yeah, they said this was supposed to be the peak right now, but because everybody did what they were supposed to do
This is a map.
for the most part, now it's not too bad. What does that say about Israel's coronavirus fatalities?
Um,
Scroll down there.
Israel's doing pretty good considering.
Mm, yeah, it's tough on everybody.
Yes, Israel cases. Israel's only had like 120 deaths. I shouldn't say
Yeah.
only, but like I'm saying only because the rest of the world is, you know.
Well, Israel is able to turn itself into a police state if it wants to, right?
Yeah,
It can
I've
just be,
experienced it many times already. You should
yeah.
see cops patrolling every street, and people here respect the cops, so they won't say nothing. It,
In the United States, people are so tied to this idea of freedom that, everybody's going out and protesting and they feel like the government's, kind of stepping on them a little bit right now and taking advantage of them
Mhm.
when
See
really
a
for
lot
the
of
most,
people protesting. Yeah, look, the cases are going way down.
yeah,
Like it's kind of leveling out. I wouldn't say way down, but it's kind of like because it's not at zero, but it's not at the peak. But much below the peak.
it's
Three
important
thousand,
for people.
almost 4,000 people recovered from the 13,000 confirmed cases.
No,
So we're at 172 deaths.
no. It's important for people to be, free in America. That's
For
what we're
sure.
all about. But
We also gotta be
people are being scaredy cats right now. Like they're being reactionary. They're freaking out. I think freedom is the most important thing that we have. It's what makes our country our country. But people are just completely losing it,
right.
and they're doing the opposite of what they're supposed to do out of spite. on purpose.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, they're putting themselves at risk. They're putting other
People
people at
are
risk.
rioting. People are
Oh,
protesting.
I didn't see anything
Crazy.
about rioting.
What's crazy about people are rioting in Israel? That's different. But protest. When I saw videos of people protesting, I saw a lot of people wearing masks during the protest. So it's like clearly you guys believe that the coronavirus is dangerous, yet you're still in public and you're
Yeah.
still protesting.
So what the hell are you
But yeah,
doing?
you're wearing a mask to protect
Yeah.
yourself. So go home and protect yourself
Yeah.
and have some peace with yourself.
Yeah.
God,
It's not. We have these protections in place, right? Like I think there's definitely shady shit going on, but not on a global, massive scale.
yeah.
That's like, no one's like trying to crush us or steal our rights or take our rights away. They're just trying to help you be safe. I think some of these governors though are kind of stepping over their bounds a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, some of them.
Yeah.
There is a line.
Oh, for sure.
Like if you stop people from buying seeds,
See,
right? Seeds,
seeds.
grow seeds, like to grow plants.
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
And who was doing that?
Governor of Michigan.
What do you mean they were just stopping people from buying seeds? Like, is it illegal to buy seeds?
She banned the sale of a bunch of different things, but some of them were like really arbitrary.
That's
Like,
correct. That shouldn't be. The government
yeah,
is just taking this too. That's why that
I see. I don't think every part of the government or every government. I think just different people.
right.
You know, I think that's worth a protest. Like some people were smart about it. Like they had a protest where it was called Operation Gridlock, and everyone just drove out in their cars. That's fine. That's smart, I think.
People have no food though. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
You see that? I saw somewhere. I think it was in Texas. Well, I don't remember where it was, but there was a line of 10,000 cars in front of a food bank trying to get some bread to eat.
yeah, it's horrible for some people,
Horrible,
and
horrible. People have no food.
people can't pay rent.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, but that's
I,
see, landlords are kind of being nice to most people, but eventually they're gonna people might be losing their homes.
so landlords are a lot of them are being nice, and in some cases the government is making them be nice. And in other cases, there was a women's support group that got a spike in calls by like they said they got more calls in the last 2 days than they did in the last 2 years because of landlords
Mm.
like abusing their tenants and being like, okay, you can basically use your body to pay for rent.
What do you mean, like sex?
Yeah,
Sounds like a porno.
except except it's a horrible, terrible
Yeah.
thing and it's humiliating and
Mm. But
yeah,
people I like it's going in a direction where people are gonna lose their home because
yeah.
they can't pay the mortgage, can't pay their rent. People will start not being able to live with
People
shelter.
are
People are gonna
people
start
are
being
already
homeless.
in that situation. 22 million people are
Can't
out
just
of a job.
expect all the like. It's not the reality. Like, not all the landlords are just gonna be super nice and let everyone stay in. Like, I don't know. It's just
No,
not. It's not
that's
the case.
that's why he wants to open up the economy, but it's tough
Yeah.
because you don't want
Well, I
you
think
made
I think he should slowly, but like we're gonna be wearing masks and gloves for a while, for sure.
a
A
long
good
time.
a good
The
year,
world's, the
easy.
world's not going to be the same.
Cause like
Mm-mm.
I already see it with Israel. Like we're slowly opening up. This is like the first step towards opening up the economy. Obviously, we haven't opened up the economy, but it's one step backwards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because forward would have been when we started off with zero restrictions, then it slowly went from no restrictions, slowly peaked to a lot of restrictions, to like complete
that's
lockdown. So now we're slowly getting away from the complete lockdown, and I think
it's such a different dynamic though because we
yeah,
have 300 million people and we have a massive economy and we hold on to this idea of freedom and I
Mhm.
get to do what I want to do and
And
I'm
you
an
guys got this
individual and let
constitution.
me.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's beautiful, but it's also,
Eh,
it's a cause for a lot of bad attitudes
For sure.
and unhealthy attitudes. And you guys can just be like, no, that's not how our country works. If we tell you to go inside, we're going to arrest you and we're going to monitor you.
You know the joke about Netanyahu?
I don't really know Israeli jokes. I didn't know
So
Israelis told
there's a
jokes.
joke. You know how Netanyahu was like indicted for whatever.
Yeah, corruption and
So
bribery.
so he was
All that
indicted, and then Netanyahu was like, "We're gonna put them all in prison instead.
stuff.
Make the cops control them. When they can't go to the park, they're all gonna be in prison.
Oh,
As
that's
indicted me,
beautiful.
I put you in prison. Ah,
No, no, I tell you what to do.
you wanna put me in jail? I'll put you in jail."
Tony Montana.
That's what's going on over here. It's crazy to think about. Like,
Yeah.
our
In
government
North
was
Korea,
indicted. Our prime minister was indicted over here, and then he fucking puts all of us in prison.
it's pretty funny. Pretty funny.
Now we're all
You know
locked.
what?
Now we're locked up.
You know what's not funny? In North Korea, as
People out
soon as
there are
they have
people are getting fined for like not being home, like being being out and whatnot.
freedom versus safety is one
Cops
of
are
the
railing at are yelling at the kids for being in the park. God,
freedom versus safety is one of the most important and most complicated questions that we've been asking since humanity began. What's more important, freedom or
mm,
safety? Because if everyone is free to do what they want, then you're technically not safe because someone is
well,
free to
not to
stab
do
you.
whatever you want. Like there's still always gonna be laws in terms of
Right, balance. Of course, there's a balance, but right. I
there's
mean,
always gonna
like
be laws like no
two extremes.
killing.
It's two
Drugs is a
extremes.
whole different topic because like drugs is taking away our freedom, but yet there's a lot of drugs that are very dangerous and can be very misused. But yet there's drugs that are illegal that are not that could be legal and should be legal, but they're not because they
Yeah, that.
could be misused 100%. It's very easy to
I,
misuse.
yeah,
That are great, but
never thought about how drugs tie into freedom versus safety. That's interesting.
for
Yeah,
sure,
yeah, totally.
definitely. I mean, you know, I think as a human, it should be a human right that we should be allowed to explore consciousness in whatever way we want. But the government takes away our right from exploring different levels of conscious, different realities that different things we can see that, you know, you know, we don't know that like this physical reality generally, especially in Jewish philosophy, is not the only reality that exists in
Different
front of us.
dimensions.
Just the
Right,
physical eye can only see one reality.
right. Different levels of mysticism and spirituality. Plenty of cultures have these concepts of other worlds
For sure.
and
Oh,
other
definitely.
levels. Yeah, that you can achieve them. You don't need mind altering substances to get there. Like you can get
But they're
there
much
through
more potent.
prayer,
They're more vivid.
meditation.
Like a vision you get from meditating is never going to be as in your face like, one of a psychedelic
Very
trip.
true. Very true.
But you could still gain the same mental concept from meditation. That
Of
without a
course.
doubt. I just finished a book about meditation called
What's
by
it
Ari
called?
Kaplan, Jewish Meditation.
Jewish meditation. Interesting.
This is crazy. I mean, it's a big part of Judaism that we completely lost. It's almost lost. We're
Oh,
supposed
the
like what
early
how like Abraham, Jacob, and whatnot, and
forefathers, yeah.
forefathers were like Abraham was the morning prayer, Isaac was the evening was the like afternoon prayer,
Afternoon, right? And
and
Yitzhak
then
was the night.
Jacob was the
Jacob, right.
night prayer. These are they didn't say prayers; they were literally meditating to God. That's how they prayed.
Yeah, the early Hasidim back in like the 16th century, they were 17th century. They were all super in tune with nature, and they would go out into
Mhm.
the woods. Tons of different stories about that, and they would interact with the animals and the trees. And
People still interact with animals.
no, of course, but
That's how people talk to their dogs. Like it's their best
not what
friend.
I'm saying. It's not what I'm saying. They would go out alone by themselves.
Yeah,
Some of them would. Some of them would like. You might not think about this as meditating, but some of them would go out and just into the middle of the woods or into the middle of a field,
it's
and
very
they would
meditative.
scream. They would just scream, just yell.
Just yell. I know
Yeah,
someone that would like that.
yeah. It's
But going in the woods is a it's just like a level. There's a aspect of meditating, and your mind's
peace.
like, woo.
Yeah, opens up. You hear the
You
birds tweeting. You know, you
don't
see
gotta
some.
be sober as hell, going in the woods, and you still trip out.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Look at the stars. If you're fortunate enough to live somewhere where you can see stars, all
Uh,
that light
I
pollution.
wish. I really like after this
Trust me.
virus goes down, and I want to travel to some places to
Go out to the desert.
stargaze and whatnot. Yeah,
Hop out to the desert, out
like
to the
literally,
Negev.
you don't see much sky. You just see like stars. You see more stars than darkness, like from the sky. It's beautiful.
Beautiful expanse.
So the
Yeah.
people in the Amazon, they're very much into that.
They're so in tune with nature that
Oh, like they
they're
know they
they're
like they
certain
talk, didn't they? Like they just with nature. Fuck
they're
about nature. Crazy.
some of these tribes, or I think it's one of these tribes, have webbed feet. They climb trees so much that they all have webbed feet so that they can just scale the trees like a monkey. I'm not going to compare humans to monkeys. Just want to say, I'm not dehumanizing anybody like, oh, these Amazon people, they're a bunch of monkeys. No,
Well, we
not what
come
I'm
from
saying.
monkeys,
We all do,
according to science.
for the science, right? Synthesizing religion and evolution is really interesting because they're
Well, you can't say science is false because it's
no, yeah, but
proven.
there are insights that
So
every
it comes
day
to like, how do
creation.
you explain scientific philosophy in terms of religious philosophy? How do you combine that? There's plenty
Mhm.
of people do it. There's plenty of ways.
Oh yeah,
How do you say if you're religious and according to the Bible, the world's only like what are we 6,000 years old? Not even.
according to the Bible, like
But
5,000
that's
something.
the
Yeah,
day like Adam was created. But there could
yeah.
have been billions of years before that,
People say that
where
each day, each day
because
of
creation
creation
was
is
done in a
different.
7 day format.
Yeah,
So the fuck, like time wasn't created. So before time was created, there was just endless amount of time. There was no such thing as time. It was billions and billions of what we perceive as years, but shit didn't even like like time is a creation of God.
yeah, yeah. It's something that we can't really understand well. We can only understand it in a linear way,
Yeah.
right? It's like going one way, but you know,
So your time, why do you think we exist?
why do we exist? Oh my goodness. Probably to start podcasts. I think that's why.
Start a pod. Oh no, I'm saying as humanity. Why were humans created?
Why humans created.
I think that
Um,
should be a
as a
question.
reality, as a
You think that's
reality show for
I think
God and
that
the
what
angels.
we were created to try to understand our reality.
No, as a reality show, as entertainment
For who? For God.
for God and the heavenly
So
beings.
God just smokes cigars and is like, hey.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's God. He's just the dude in the baseball cap, the Yankees cap. He's got a big old belly. He's sitting there. I don't know. That's that's the question, dude. I don't know the answer to the question. Why are
Yeah,
we here?
there's really like, I mean, people that are religious generally say it's to build a relationship with God, which I definitely believe is true. But it's also how do you define that? There's so many ways to define that.
Makes
That's
sense. Makes sense to me.
that's the bigger question.
I mean,
Some things are a lot easier said than comprehended. You know.
if you hmm, if you believe that like I do, that we all have a piece of God in us, like our soul, a
Mm.
piece of God. We're
Oh,
supposed to keep it clean. Then our purpose is to live up to God's standards.
mm.
Right.
Gotta be in tune with him,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Very
mentally,
complicated.
spiritually, physically, all the above.
That's right.
Anyone can like connect spiritually, no matter being spiritual and being religious are two different subjects, two
I
different
think
things.
so. I think so. But
I
I
mean,
also think God
they're very much connected, 100%. But
yeah.
there's plenty of people that are super spiritual, but they're not religious.
Yeah,
And
you
there's
can have
people
one
that are
without the
religious that
and
just
aren't
don't
spiritual.
have a lot
Right.
of connection. They're not that religious. They're not that spiritual in the sense.
You could have someone that is
They just kind of
devout.
practice religion, because
Right.
they were
You
born
could
with it, and they think it's a law book. They look at they look at God as someone giving them laws, not as someone you need to connect with emotionally and physically and with all of your everything.
you could be a deeply devout person.
Every part of your
And
atom needs to be connected to God, because it
you
is.
could be an incredibly devout person that does everything they need to do and follows all the motions and lives their lives completely. But if you don't, I guess, foster that inner passionate connection, you
Yeah.
know,
Mm,
spirituality is like emotional.
yeah.
It's,
It's nice.
it's something else. You need it. You need it. That's what Shabbat is for. It's what
Mm.
you know.
I think
The
as
Sabbath, taking a
I think
day off.
it's one of the human, like, I think our spiritual sense is another sense that people have. Like, there's five
Like a
physical
sense.
senses.
Yeah,
I believe that there's senses above that.
it could be.
There's like the spiritual sense. Even scientists talk about other senses that we have that we don't even know exist.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Definitely people that are religious definitely talk about that, where we have
Yeah.
a spiritual sense. There's other consciousness that's not just our five levels of awareness and feelings, touching, there's seeing, hearing, taste, touch, and
Well, when people
like
have these different
spiritual, like, it's trippy.
experiences with psychedelics and stuff like that, and all these senses are enhanced.
Yeah.
I think that could be its own sense, right?
Yeah, but you tend to see things that also, like, you can't say that hallucination is just seeing, like, there there are people that study hallucination is that you're not seeing something that doesn't exist necessarily, you're just seeing something with a different lens.
So it's there,
It's there, but
really there.
it's not a physical sense. So taking psychedelics is almost like
A
having a
pathway
different
to a different dimension.
it's having a different level of consciousness, which
Yeah.
allows you to see things that aren't physical.
That's a theory, and it's one that
Mm.
you can't rule out because
Yeah, I mean, I've read
we haven't
about it.
proven it yet.
People,
So it
how do we even
makes
prove
sense.
it? I mean, because most people that take psychedelics, everyone thinks they're crazy. Yeah, for sure. I mean, our reality is crazy. There's so much we don't understand about our reality. So instead of calling people crazy, you should question your reality.
Yep, that these things could actually be the
Hmm.
lifting of a veil.
There's things that
Or just
there's
juices shooting off in your brain.
if you practice religion, then you should definitely not question the fact that there are things that aren't physical that you can't see with your physical eye.
Yeah, no, it's a well written about subject.
Hmm.
You
I
can
wouldn't say
find that.
well written about. Well, maybe
Oh well, in
biblically,
religious
like,
texts,
yeah,
in religious texts, I mean
biblically, yeah.
religious texts, not scientific, but it goes in depth about different levels of mysticism and
Hmm.
different dimensions and different beings and different
Prophecy,
demons and
vision,
creatures and
and these things are so tied to, like,
yeah. And it's also it's important to note that we're not really supposed to perseverate too much on these things. Like they're fascinating and you can learn about them, but you look at the Zohar, you're not supposed to, or the Kabbalah, you're not supposed to learn Kabbalah until you've learned the entire Talmud and you're
Well,
at a
that's also, I mean, it's not really 100% factual. We don't really know that. That's kind of what we said just to
the
protect people from,
sanctity.
because the problem with the Zohar is that if you've ever read anything out of it, it's so easy to like worship idols by having the wrong perspective from reading it.
Yeah,
Because it
it's
compares God to these physical things, which
you know,
is which I think is wrong. Because God
it's
doesn't.
hard for people to wrap their heads around, and
Mhm.
that's why we we have these concepts and we can learn them, but each one is tempered. Every rabbi I've spoken with, it's always tempered with, we shouldn't focus that much on
Yeah.
the afterlife or the world to come all these other lofty concepts. We can learn about them, but we shouldn't perseverate on them
Yeah.
because
You
what
shouldn't spend
truly
your whole
matters
life trying
now.
to figure out what's gonna happen after you die. Because you're
Yeah,
gonna work your whole life.
yeah,
You're gonna find out what's happening.
exactly. That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
definitely. I
What
definitely agree with that.
And I feel like it's not completely the same, but it is in large part also true with these other
I think we should spend more time trying to
lofty.
understand our current reality,
Of course,
not the next reality.
100%, definitely. We got to
That's
figure it out. We
why
got,
science is so important. It's why,
you know,
just, you know,
what's concrete, what we really, really know.
nothing is concrete.
It's true. It's always changing.
There was a line that I heard from someone that everything is argumentable except for physics. I can have well, I will. There was a line I forgot what exactly. So when it comes to all topics, we can have an argument about it, except for when it comes to physics. Because the only thing that is factual is physics. Outside of physics, everything is pretty much questionable, except for the laws of physics. Like what else? Like and mathematics, everything else is pretty much questionable, and there's no real answer to most things.
Hmm.
Because even
It's
someone that has this belief and that belief, there's always something that could blow their mind and they
pop
can
it.
completely and pop that shit.
Some new scientific change is going to come along one day and say, "Oh, you thought it was this way. No, it's really that way."
Oh,
Blow everybody's
even
mind.
like so a lot of Albert Einstein's theories were disproven, and he was a genius.
Yeah, and he was an immense genius.
Hmm.
He was one of the smartest people that we ever had. But they were still disproven. But that doesn't make him any less of a genius.
Scientists blow my mind though, because it's like think about being in the time of Albert Einstein. It's just crazy guy with all these proofs and theories and proofs for the theories, and everyone just believed him because like no one was smart enough to disprove him. No one could say, "Oh no, that's stupid shit. You're wrong," because no one was on his level. Like, how could he say that? But he was like, I think he's almost like a crazy dude. Like he's a fucking mad scientist. But
Me
everyone
too.
believed in his theories, and
It
yeah,
was the same. It was the same with every other scientist.
yeah.
They
That's
used
why
to think that
scientists just blow my
they used to
mind.
think the Earth was the center of the universe. You know?
Yeah. Oh, but that's no, like we don't even. There's still like topics people think that the universe is endless, expanding in all directions, but then there's theories where it's in it. It's shorter this way and this way. Like, because if it's the same distance between all directions, that means the universe is the center of the direction of the universe. That I mean, the Earth is the center of the universe.
It would also mean that there's an edge of the universe, technically. Yeah, and that you could
uh,
reach it. You could go there and see
it's
if you hold by that theory, you hold by that.
I'm just trying to like if we can go to Mars, that'd be pretty cool. I don't know about the end of the
Yeah.
year.
And dude, we don't know what's gonna happen in 50 years. They started flying planes, and then 50 years later, they were on the moon. Between hold on. Wait, no, that's not quite right. It's less than 100 years between the first flight at Kitty Hawk and
But
when
since
they
we went to
had.
the moon, we haven't made a lot of progress.
Yeah, I mean, I heard something about Trump wanting to colonize the moon. or drill it. Yeah, I think it was drill it. Yeah, drill it for
Mm.
like oil. No, no, I saw something about that, man.
I don't think. I mean, I'm saying we shouldn't do that.
I shouldn't mess with the moon.
No, leave the moon. The moon. No, no.
Yeah, let it be. Let it
It
be.
looks nice, you know.
It does look nice. We don't need a bunch of oil drills up there.
What the? We're obsessed with oil, man. Money, goddamn.
We gotta conquer the moon. We gotta conquer everything.
Yeah, people should start walking more, you know, and stop being so fat.
That's true. Should focus more. Like get out of your chair.
Yeah,
And
get,
yeah,
get off your ass a little bit.
yeah.
You
Take a
know.
walk before you start talking about, oh, let's go to the moon. Cool.
How you gonna walk on the moon if you can't walk on this planet?
That's right. That's right.
We have
Pretty
gravity over
easy.
here, like
Pretty easy.
take advantage of the gravity.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Be a little thankful, yo. We got some gravity over here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dude, if
Imagine if we
you're up
had no
there,
gravity, we'd all just be floating.
I know plenty of people that are just floating around, man.
Yeah,
Plenty of
but
people.
more that's more for like psychologically, they're just floating around.
Yeah. Oh, they
Whoopee.
feel like they're physically floating around. They're
What's
not
that
grounded.
weird bugs? Shit, I'm
Not
outside.
grounded. What kind of bug?
Oh, it's like looks like a scorp. Like it looks like the mix of a scorpion and a cockroach. It just keeps making noises.
Oh, tell him to keep it down. Excuse me. Ask him nicely.
Hey, motherfucker, keep it down.
Hey, that's not nice. Hey, yo.
Hey, yo, homie.
Hey, please be quiet. I'm trying to make a podcast.
Want to join? You want some of my
Dude,
coffee?
dude, the Roach podcast? Hell yeah.
There's a hole in the bottom of my cup.
Oh, what is that? Dude, there's a crazy dude behind you. It's like a mad scientist.
Yeah. It's Albert
Who's
Hoffman.
this? Hello.
Is that made by that artist?
Which artist?
You know, you ever seen those artworks where like it's the human mind like expanded?
I know that one. I know exactly who you're
He's
talking
he's
about. I
been on
forgot
TED
the
Talk.
name. I
What's
never saw his TED Talk, but I saw his art.
oh, if I look at my YouTube history, I'll find him.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
And he makes like
I would love
humans
to meet. I
hugging
would
each
love to meet
other
this
and
guy.
was-
He makes beautiful art.
there's like babies and animals.
Yeah,
Gorgeous. I know
like
exactly what you're
couples,
talking
like just like migrating into.
about.
Each other.
Yeah.
So in the book that I was reading actually about Jewish meditation, there's a section about like a man and a woman, and how when a man and woman are like having sex, basically it's supposed to be like a ritual, and it's like they're binding their souls together. Also, it's very interesting.
It's 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 a big contrast from some of the other religions where it's like frowned upon
Yeah.
or it's looked at as dirty or
Nah, I mean, sex
disgusting
is
or
supposed to be a beautified thing.
that's right. It's supposed to be holy,
It's how
special.
we're all made. His name is Alex Gray. Yeah,
Yeah. Alex
yeah.
Gray. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. See if you can share the screen on that. I
Hey,
want to
let me
show the
show you some
people.
of his art real. Let me get on Google Photos and then I'll share the
Alright.
screen.
Yeah.
He's an amazing artist.
I think this actually might be by Alex Gray. Pretty sure I think it is.
It looks similar to his work, but I don't know if it is. Has a similar style, but it looks a little different also.
Yeah.
It definitely was probably if it wasn't made by him, it was inspired by him.
Mhm.
Share screen. Okay. Here, this the man.
Yeah. There he is.
Look.
He's like, yeah, I see you.
Yeah, he's a spiritual dude. There's for
He's
sure.
he's he's looking
This is
right
one of
at
my
all.
favorite hand of an artist. Oof.
One of them was
He talks
like,
about how making art. I definitely experience this a little bit sometimes when I make like different pictures and I'm on Photoshop for like an hour at a time. He talks about how art, I think, what did he say? Levels up art um basically higher the level of consciousness in the mind or something.
Heightens, yeah.
Heightens it, yeah. For
Um,
sure, because you get in this when you make art, and especially if you make a painting or any art in general, your mind is just locked into it, and it's almost like you're high, like you just get into it, and it's almost like you become it, and you just like. Have you ever
look at that
painted?
one.
Have you ever
Look at that
painted
one of
before?
Jesus up there.
This one?
No, right above it,
Huh?
right next to it.
Oh yeah,
Ah, yeah, that's
that was
that's
one
a,
of the beginning ones he made. I mean, other when he actually was like legit, not like when he was a little teenager. He made like some interesting ones. But you know
yeah,
his
that
story. You know his story.
I don't. I'm not familiar.
Let me tell you, it's mind-boggling. So basically, there was one night where he just felt super depressed, like lost, hopeless, and then he asked God to like kind of like save him and like show him some direction.
Yeah,
The next day, takes a tab of acid, and then he starts tripping or whatever, and then basically he like I'm saying the story completely wrong, I'm missing a lot of details, but basically he walks and towards his light, which he calls God, basically, and then he finds God, and God tells him his purpose. He's gonna make art, whatever, and then the next day, the same week or something, he meets his wife, who's also an artist, and they do acid together, they do LSD together, and they basically spent their entire life together just making art.
it's a beautiful thing. There's a lot of religious imagery here. There's
Mm.
Adam and
There's
Eve.
there's
There's
I'm trying to find a specific one where he shows like all religions. This is also cool. I like this one too.
yeah.
This
Look
one's
at the
woo,
Adam and Eve one.
like
They
that
look like
one.
monkeys. I think that's on purpose. Check it out.
This one,
Open that one up. Yeah.
yeah.
He looks like a Neanderthal, like an early human.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very
like
interesting.
an ape kind of person.
Yeah.
And there's the snake.
Where? Oh, where? Oh,
Yeah,
whoa,
yeah,
oh,
the snakes
wow.
above him eating themselves.
He definitely learned
Crazy.
some Bible for sure. You gotta know the Bible reference from that, the Torah reference.
Torah, yeah, Pentateuch.
I think, yeah. Look, this is yeah. The thing on your screen is this.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
Definitely looks like his style. It's definitely shows more like physical face, like less interior than compared to some of the other ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
those art festivals that you see videos of was like trippy ones.
So he paints at the festivals.
Yeah, he's into those.
Yeah.
Woo, woo. Looks nice.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh,
Hey, Vismer. No,
that's
yeah.
on your. Oh, this is like a museum. I think is it. I want to see the one where he shows
It's
like
got the machine elf
this
right up
one.
there.
Yeah. Woo.
See that? A lot of these have the machine elf from DMT
People have these tattoos on their body, like all over
of
their body.
the DMT elves.
No, just like his art tattooed
Oh,
on
his
his
art.
body. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got an interesting character.
yeah.
But who cares, man? It's good to have some character. Most people have no character.
Xerox of a person. Just a copy. Man, look at all those. Speaking of tabs, look at all those tabs you got open. That you gotta close some of those. The laptop will go a lot faster. Got Instagram, it's got WhatsApp up, it's got three Zooms.
Three zooms. Oh
Three
yeah.
Zooms. Yeah, see?
Hey,
See what I'm talking about? Oh, who is it? Wave Podcast.
yeah, we got like 34 plays.
Hee hee.
And
Beautiful.
on YouTube, we got like 50 views.
Listen, we're making our way. We're making our way.
Hey,
They said
if you
oftentimes
like
we're
our
told
podcast, you best to share it with your boys
like, share, subscribe, baby.
or gals or our
Yeah,
homies.
or whatever in between. I don't know what people are calling
Yeah,
themselves these
whatever you
days.
call yourself, man.
Right? Z, Zim.
I ain't got no right to judge nobody.
Sure.
Call yourself what you want, but respect the pronouns.
I don't know. Did you hear
How do
that?
I stop share? Oh, here.
How does that sound?
What
How
time
does
is it?
that
Yeah,
sound?
it's 12:30 over here.
It's
Woo!
12:30
It's
over
already
here.
4:20. Damn.
It's 5:30 over here, baby. I think we had a great. This was a great run, great episode today. Spectacular.
This some of this Israeli coffee is like straight coke, man. That's why Israelis are like always like, hey,
They're wired, dude.
they're wired they're too wired.
Chuta, 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 blah, 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 blah.
Where's my money?
No, that's Italian. You're going across the Mediterranean.
Where is my money?
Okay, that's a little better. A little better.
Hey,
I don't know.
capara. Give me
We don't
my
want to catch
money.
any. We don't want to catch any heat from the
Israelis
IDF.
are not that different than Italians in terms of personality.
Jews and Italians have a lot of
Yeah,
similarities.
they like their
Yeah.
hands are everywhere.
Yeah. They're boisterous, great food, kind of dark. You know, a lot of stuff in common. Got a lot of stuff not in
A lot of
common too.
different types of Jews though. Like the Jews in America are a lot different than the Jews in Israel.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Israelis are a lot more blunt and black and white,
Yeah, they're like,
which
I like to sit naked. I shoot you, man. Get out of my house.
you know.
Like I was walking the other day, no cap, and I see a porch, and there's like an old naked couple just fucking sitting there.
A couple?
Yeah, like an old
You
couple.
said you said a couple?
Yeah, like a couple.
Oh.
Like an old couple just lying on their porch completely naked.
Oh my God.
I was like, whoop, did not want to see that shit.
Seeing people naked is, I mean, like that. I don't mean like in an intimate setting. I mean like
Just like
just
when you're
randomly.
taking a walk.
Yeah, yeah. A little more than I bargained for, man.
Yeah.
Rough. It's rough. All
Yeah,
right.
it
Well.
was weird.
All right,
But
Han.
like in Israel, it's normal over here. It's hot, man. It's hot as hell.
Oh, you gotta. I don't know why we haven't invented like cold suits yet.
Mm. They have like cold blankets.
Mascots,
Yeah.
like mascots for sports teams, they've got like little air conditioners inside their suits.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, like you'd pass out and die otherwise. Some of these games in the summertime,
Mm.
God, it's bacon on a baseball field and a giant,
Yeah.
whatever the hell your mascot is.
And-
So,
But I heard that in Disney, they you know how they have like the characters in the costumes.
yeah, yeah.
So they just go like 20-minute shifts or like 30-minute shifts because it's just they can't stand in there for more than they'll pass out.
Oh yeah.
Like
You're dancing,
I've
you're
been in line
moving.
in Disney, and then all the like then they had and then like Goofy had to like switch with another Goofy.
Dude, did you ever see the wardrobe malfunctions for
We should get some of those costumes.
what and wear them on the podcast?
Yeah, just like I don't know, completely
Yeah.
cover our heads. Yeah, you
We
gotta be
we
safe.
used to,
You
we
gotta
used to
cover
have one of those
you gotta
costumes.
cover your mouth. So it's
My
good.
brother my
Keep
brother wore one of those costumes for Purim, and everybody was like running up on him and like shoving him. And every time they shoved his head, like his neck would almost break.
Do you
It
think
was
if
such a
I walked around with
dramatic
like a
character.
big face mask of Mickey Mouse instead of this shit, it's probably allowed.
That'd be nice. It's cute. To cheer all the kids up, like, hey, it's me, Mickey Mouse. You know?
Or I should put some. I should dress as that guy in your picture on your screen.
I don't know if you can dress like Albert Hoffman. He's just a bald white dude.
Looking backwards. Like he has a fucking picture behind it.
Good. Okay, let me.
Whoa.
No, good. Your guys. My dude's chilling. Your guy's losing
I mean, you best
it. Like,
believe he's losing.
woo!
It's called bicycle day for a reason.
I mean, that dude's gonna crash. You better
Best
watch out.
believe- I'm surprised you didn't. Surprised you didn't crash.
Yeah. Well, cause he did it before. This one was on purpose, so he knew what he was doing. When he
Mm.
took it for the first time, he was in his lab by accident, and he didn't know that he had taken it. I think it went through like his fingertips or something.
Right.
So
No, I'm pretty sure he put it in his mouth.
all I know is that it wasn't on purpose,
It was
and that it
25
just
milligrams, which isn't that strong of a dose.
no. He took 250, which is like
Oh,
the
250,
standard.
like
He
UG.
took 250 on purpose when he was on the bike.
Uh, yeah, that's pretty. It's still pretty potent for like someone's first.
Well, it was pure. It was unadulterated. You know.
Still pretty strong.
Yeah.
Right? 250
Yeah.
UG. I mean,
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying.
might be
It was
weak for
intense.
me, but like, I
It
wouldn't
was.
recommend someone doing that for the first time.
No. Well, it still wasn't his first time. It was his second time. You got to remember.
Yeah, yeah.
First time on purpose.
Also, he was like a fully grown man, so
He
generally,
was, and he knew he was mature.
yeah, and
He
he's a
knew what he
fucking
was
scientist.
doing.
Like,
Yeah, he had a handle.
yeah,
Had a handle on it.
somewhat. I mean, you can only handle it so much. No one
He had
can
a
take full
handle on. He
control.
had a handle on his own, but not collective humanity. You never can. Nothing you can do about that.
Yeah,
That's
honestly.
the ultimate thing. All right, what are we at? An hour?
Yeah.
Right about an hour.
What year did he
All right.
die? He died in like the 80s.
I think it was recent. It was either the early 2000s or the 90s.
I
Let
thought
me
it
check.
was, it was either I thought it was the 80s or 90s. He died old. He had a good life.
He had a nice long life. I think he was. Yeah, he was 102 years old.
Whew.
He was born in 1906 and he died in 2008.
Because in one of these documentaries, I didn't watch the whole thing, but they were interviewing him when he was literally like old as hell. He was like, your consciousness, like he was old.
Dude,
Like,
if you're 102, you're gonna be old as hell for a long time.
yeah.
Yeah, be old as
Mhm.
hell for 40 years. You're gonna be an old man for 40 years. Think about that.
60 is not that old nowadays. Nowadays, it's not really looked at as like an old man.
That's
Then
true, but
the average 60-year-old. Well, some people look older than they are. So it depends.
he turned 60 in 1966, so he was probably pretty aged.
Yeah.
You yeah,
They didn't have the skincare back then.
yeah, that's right. He didn't have Accutane.
They didn't have a what do you call that company that like keeps your hair from falling off? Forgot what it's called, whatever.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. A lot of those companies are goofy,
Yeah.
goofy as hell.
Just let
It
your hair
annoys me.
fall off. God,
I did it. I
have
tried it. It's a vibe.
yeah,
Chaim tried it. I tried it. Everybody should go bald at least once. Try it
yeah.
one time.
Also, like, uh, whatever. I'm not here to say whatever.
No,
Just let
I know what you mean. Some people don't have the head for it. Some people look like a little goblin.
no, I'm saying like
They should.
if if your hair falls off naturally, you should let it. Just let it fall off. People are like,
No, people are they're too attached. But it's scary.
disconnect yourself from the physical.
I'm a monk. Move to Tibet. Ooh, it's all day. Just ooh.
You know that the letter M is actually when your mind hears M, that's why they said because it's a peaceful sound.
Is it something about the vibration?
No, and like M is a peaceful sound. That's
Oh,
why when they meditate, they go
okay.
because it brings more peace to the mind.
I would think it's because when you hum, it makes like a nice buzz, like it's like a massage chair. You know what I'm saying?
No, because people actually don't just say that. There's different sounds that you can make while you're meditating to get a
Right.
different,
People have a
get a
very silly.
different,
People have
different,
a very
different effect.
people have a very silly perception of what meditation is. They think it's just you sit crisscross
Yeah,
applesauce and you go
that's
like
not what
this.
it is. First off,
No, 100% not.
there's a lot of different ways to meditate.
All over the world, all kinds of
When
different
when people
cultures
think
and
of people meditating,
civilizations.
think of some Indian dude just sitting all day in front of on top of a cliff, just meditating.
Yeah,
Oh, you can just stand up and meditate, or sit
yeah.
on your chair, just be like,
Go for a walk.
go for a walk,
Go for a walk.
and just contemplate, look at something, and just let your mind drift. Whee! I know a couple people that are like just staring at one thing and then just let their mind go. It's great. It's great.
Spacing out
Yeah. No, but like you do it more like intentionally.
consciously.
Yeah.
Yeah, conscious spacing out.
Human consciousness.
Well, dude, it's crazy.
There's only so much we know about human consciousness.
We're so little. We're so stupid.
You must
Yeah.
leave your body so you can come back with a new perspective.
Leave your body and go inhabit someone else's, like a ghost.
Yeah, that's just like psychic stuff.
That is, I don't believe in that. It's a whole lot of baloney.
Well, I think what I've seen about psychics and why people believe, well, the way psychics think is that since we're all part of one universe, one entity, so we're all connected to the same exact.
Yeah.
You can call it vibe. We're all. Let's say we'll use the word vibe in this scenario. We're all connected to the same vibe. So that vibe is like we're in the same vibe. So if we're both in the same vibe, why can't I think in your mind?
Mhm.
It's
Yeah. No,
weird.
we're all riding the same wave,
You know,
more or less.
we're all just in the same wave.
Yeah. Some people are at the top. Some people are in the middle. Some people are at the bottom.
A cop just passed by.
Oh, but you're standing at attention? Oh. Ooh.
Go back inside your house.
We got a Delta 99er. We got a runner.
Got a COVID-19.
We got a code
What, do they
COVID.
even, what is like they must because you know like cops different numbers for shit. So what is
Yeah.
a number that they say we got if someone is on the street and they're not supposed to be there? And
I
they
don't think there's a code for that.
need
You
they
can
need.
just say stuff. People do
Well, let's say they
really
need to
weird.
call for backup because you know they got some dude chilling on a bench.
I don't know that there's a code for everything because you're from Florida, so you know this. Some people just do stuff that defies logic or imagination. Like we got a guy riding his dog into a crocodile alligator infested swamp, and
Oh, we
he's
have
beating
shit for that. For sure, have stuff for alligators, but that's
What's
so
what's
rare.
the alligator code?
I don't know.
You
I
got
don't
code
know. I ain't
Snake.
no cop.
You got code
Or let's say
Chop.
in case we got a dude who we got a Florida man who
Florida man.
put his microwave in a microwave and then exploded his house. You know that meme?
Florida man. I think everyone needs to look up. You got to do your Florida man birthday. You got to look up Florida man and then your birthday. I want to see what mine is.
I've
Let's
done
do
that
that.
before. You want to do that right now?
Yeah, let's do it right now.
All right.
Florida
Can have a little
man
fun. Whatever.
7-Eleven.
Uh,
Florida man 7-Eleven. No, I
January
shouldn't write
12th.
7-Eleven.
Do I have
July
to
the
look
12th.
up the year or just January 12th? Okay.
You don't have to look up the year.
Yeah. Florida man accused of stealing golf balls, beating golf.
Mine is Florida man
Okay, let me
72
share the screen
tested.
with you so you can see the guy.
Let's see. Oh boy.
Let's see it. Florida man accused of stealing golf balls, beating golfer. What the fuck? January 12th, 2020. This was this year.
Wait. Did he beat the golfer with the golf balls?
I don't know.
He stole the golf balls
Or
and
he
he
took
beat
the
the
clubs.
golfer.
He took the guy's clubs. Ah. News outlets say the gopher told him
All
not
right.
not to do
You
that.
suffered from a broken rib. Wow.
That's fuck.
It is. All right. Mine is Florida man 72 tries to mow down neighbor with tractor. 72-year-old man tried to run over his neighbor with a tractor.
What?
I
Imagine
don't
this
know why.
72-year-old man with fucking crack. Like, I'll run you over, bitch.
Your guess is as good as mine, dude. Your guess is as good as mine. Oh man.
Yeah, man, Florida man, welcome to the livelihood.
Florida men. This should be a magazine.
Florida. Oh, there should be a
Florida men.
They should make like
They
a
got,
TV show about it.
dude, they got GQ, they got Forbes. They need something
They
for
just
the
need a
Florida
show
men.
called Florida Man.
Florida man. A superhero. I am Florida man.
They choose like the best cases, and then they like act it out.
You're a genius,
Yeah, I know.
dude. Come on. Get out of Hollywood, Florida. Get over to Hollywood, California. Come on. Come on.
Hey, we might as well film it in Florida. That's where the
That's
essence
true.
of the show comes from.
We could just record everyday life. We don't need to act it out. We'll just wait around soon enough.
Just walk around with the camera. Oh, there's the crime scene. Let's get it.
All
Florida
kinds of
man.
stuff.
Well,
I remember.
that's what the
I
news.
remember.
That's what the news is, but they don't really show the good parts. No, but it'd be funny if like they acted it out from the scene from like before the crime scene happened. From like imagine creating a scene where the Florida man is thinking about doing the crime. Like I'm gonna run over this
You think
motherfucker
there's
with my
thought
tractor.
involved? You think people
I
plan
don't know.
these things out?
Sometimes, yeah, a lot of shootings are planned out.
Yeah, but the shooting, those are actually like sad. That's actually a crime. I'm
I
talking.
mean, I wouldn't be
Okay, of course,
surprised.
all these things are
Imagine
crimes, but
most people like when they get angry, they don't always act right away, especially when it's like a big anger. They kind of let
yeah.
it sit. Like, let's say you fucking hate your neighbor. You're not gonna like go kill him the first day. It's gonna be like it's just gonna keep building and building that hate and like
Premeditated murder, baby. You
yeah,
gotta meditate it.
premeditated murder, pretty
Yeah,
much.
you gotta
So,
meditate the murder. You gotta think about it.
you're like,
Yeah.
hey, where you going?
Plug it in my PC. My battery's running low. I like how it goes because first it tells me you might want to plug in your PC, and then it goes plug in your PC.
Trying to be smart with you. Like, yo,
Yeah,
bitch, you might want to plug in that shit.
it's like you might want to plug it in. And it's like plug it in. Come on. There we go.
Ooh.
Beautiful. This is a great episode today. Amazing episode. These are only getting better and better. And guys, we love your feedback, by the way. Again,
Yes,
really tell us what you think.
make sure you follow
Comments,
us on the
DM us.
on the Instagram, the wave_wave_ podcast, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wave YouTube.
the
And,
wave. Follow us on YouTube, the wave YT.
Wave on Spotify.
We're on like 6 different platforms, like pretty much all the platforms except for iTunes.
Podcast app? Not yet.
We're on Google Podcasts, I think.
Oh, we are?
Yeah,
See,
we're on
fine.
we're on Anchor.
Got it.
We're on a bunch, man. I don't know.
Yeah, branching out. Here we go, man. It's gonna be beautiful. This is the beginning of a beautiful.
We're on 6. We're available on 6 platforms. We're on Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Podcast Radio Club, and Spotify.
You got no excuses.
The only thing we're not on is Apple Pod. And we're on YouTube and we're on YouTube. We're not on Apple Podcasts. Well, I'll try to get on there. For all the Apple folks, yeah.
All
But
right.
I suggest watching the YouTube video because it's more fun because you can see us. You can see our ugly faces, you know.
Yeah. Hopping around. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well,
And
thanks
you
for
can
tuning in,
see our
everybody.
quality video.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
What we should do, there are ways to be creative with do you have a camera?
No, not a webcam. No. Mm-mm.
No, 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 like a camera.
No.
Cause like we'll talk about it a different time, but whatever. You can like set up a camera and then like have this view and that view and kind of you ever seen
From
those
different
like
angles. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
something to work for, something we'll probably do eventually. If you want to sponsor anything so we can have better video, you let me know. That
Of
definitely will be
course.
appreciated.
Wave Patreon and
Yeah.
Wave GoFundMe coming soon.
Give us the support, man. Appreciate it. If you like it, the conversation. Another little weird. Who cares? I mean, it's cool. It's
It's,
fun. It's all about having a fun time.
it's a wacky world.
It's a wacky world.
All right. Vibe with it.
Gotta ride the wave, vibe, and live the vibes.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, babies.
All right.
Take care. Be well. Everyone stay healthy out there. You know, you got something personal you're going through. Just keep on keeping on. We got it. You got it. It's all going to turn out all right.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
That's
All
it.
right. Peace, man.
Peace out.